All right, let's begin. Of course, everybody's like, what? Watch. Okay, Rizal's leading today.
Yes.
What happened to the video? I think the video failed last time, or did it succeed, or? Okay. All right, let me see if there's a record of the video. All right, Rizal is here. Do you have your secretary?
I think.
Where's the secretary? Where's she at?
Yeah, it's.
Oh, she's not sick. Like right now. Oh, because I saw her this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. No. Let her get better. Okay. All right. See you, Laura. All right. Au revoir, Laura. Allons-y. Hey. Good afternoon, Gani. Gunung.
Yes.
Representing Jogjakarta. So, let's begin.
Let's begin.
Rizal, bring it away for us. So, today we do not have a... Oh, Gani's the engineer today.
Right.
So, you're recording. Gani, I've already done the recording.
Yes.
How about I switch with you? I'll be secretary, and... Oh, wait. Gani will be secretary, and I'll be the engineer.
Okay.
Because we don't have a secretary. Our secretary is sick.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll switch it up with Gani, and Gani can secretary the meeting. Where's the rest of the two ladies?
Just 2 days.
Ara and Dominic.
Dominic with Babi Sapi.
Oh, that's not Wabi-sabi. Okay. Oh, we're still checking in guests. Okay. All right.
Talking about MOU.
Okay. And then where's Ara?
Ara and Dominic.
Oh, right. Okay, both of them. Okay.
Yes.
Then they can watch this movie then. Okay. Rizal, take it away. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. And let's go to our old business first from Jim.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sure will. So what I've done is I've analyzed the calendars over in Panita, and a lot of them have bookings that we don't know where they're coming from, right? So like this one is at Sari Garden. You can say there's Marie and Monique and all these other owner side bookings. I think this is probably from another agent. Does anybody else have any thoughts on this?
Okay.
Yeah.
The husband of
The owner.
the owner.
Okay. So does this come in from another agent, or is it coming from which direction is this coming in from?
Actually, I give you like update story of this profile. So basically, when I came in, they already informed they have the Airbnb because that is like the 5 batch that we onboarded. So I said it's okay because I want to just to start it on that time. It's all day, like we're very flexible until like these days we have new practice and stuff. But by far, like we don't have any problem with the calendar of people booking or anything. So we always coordinate and well sync. And as we can see, like month of month is still producing. We don't have any problem. But I understand that less. Yeah.
Yes, Jim. Yes.
Okay, I guess the question is, do we want this agreement to be on the latest version of market building, or do we just want it to be on Toki Sync? Yes, we don't have any operational issues, but we do have revenue issues and projection issues because we're not going to be able to produce if the owner is booking his own thing all the time. So my question is, actually, I have a proposal. I'm doing a revenue analysis for Nusa Penida right now, and we're looking at where the shortfalls are happening from. And I suggest if we want to get into the latest version of market building, then we need to start implementing agreements with owners to put this under control. If we do not put this under control, then half of the stuff we brought in Nusa Penida will evaporate in 6 months' time because it'll just go out of hand. This is not a question anymore. This is a certainty. We've had this happen before. And hey, Ara, welcome back, or welcome in. This is a certainty. My suggestion is, as soon as the peak season is over, we go back to Nusa Penida and apply the latest MOUs in market building to get this under control. This is a point where we need to act. If we don't act now, later when they get more than 50% of their bookings from their own sources, they just go, I don't need you anymore, bye, and we lose all this work that we've done for putting in these properties.
Okay, so I think I need to discuss about this because I think
Yes.
if you do that, like you will lose half of the penida for sure. If you apply the one that now strict because
I don't agree.
this
I think
this
we need to
person-
MVP that. I think we need to actually try it out, like what you did with Papa Son yesterday. You put them on a
yeah,
strict
because
thing.
that is chain owners.
Oh, okay.
It's different than
But we need to try. It's either slow death or fast death. But it's death anyway because this happened at. Let me just go down the number. This has happened at Deepadam. This has happened at Puja Villa. This has happened at Uluwatu Cottages. This has happened at every place where we do not have control of the calendar. Eventually, we get pushed out. So insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So if we're not insane, then we really need to think about how these need to be done. The analysis I'm doing right here, I'm going to try to figure out what exactly is the issue. But if we're serious about growing Nusa Penida, this is only the first 1% of people we're working with. So it's okay. Even if we lose it, we need to set our conditions clearly so that new people don't go, well, why am I getting a different deal than the previous deal? No, everybody's on the same deal. All right, everybody's on the same deal. And moving forward, this is going to be the only deal we do. Yeah? Okay. All right. Cool.
Is that a motion, sir?
Yes. It's not a motion. It's just essentially I think we need to think about this. The motion is let's do the okay. My motion is this. My motion is that I will analyze where the revenue issues are. If we determine that most of it is from bookings that are stealth bookings that we're not seeing due to competing agencies, then my motion would be we need to close that, right? But if we find different results, or maybe let's open the discussion. Can I open discussion about this?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay. Does anybody think that these calendars are being blocked by something? Okay, so there's one hypothesis, it's another agency. Is there any other hypotheses where the owners are getting bookings?
It's because so many bookings that like every day they got bookings.
Okay, all right. And these are not walk-ins, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
They
all
not
right.
one, that one.
Okay, is there any discussion? Yes, Mas Gani.
From my side, I take a look on Papasun calendar. They have Traveloka that it's very high occupancy, so it's almost blocked all day in Papasun. Yeah, Traveloka.
Okay,
Mm.
thank you, Mas Gani. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Do we have Traveloka under control at Papasun now?
It's planning to onboard to us, but as you can see, our channel is not support Traveloka. That's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, something like it's good in a good platform to use Nusa Penida because we cannot support that and we don't use it. I think we need to figure out how to imbalance that because it just not it's more like what a convenient. Also, I have to think about the owner and then how it's to think at the long term, because it's just not about our convenience.
Okay, I think so much of it. I think we have a subcommittee for this phase of business. Okay.
Oh, we need to come back at some point.
I have this one here.
Oh, okay.
What this?
Okay, all right, let's follow up.
Okay. Next is from Cynthia about identity reservation. Please speak up, Cynthia.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I had to speak louder. I put this on our Trello board, so you can check it there. And I will update this since from August, so I will make another paper from this month, from August.
Okay.
So this is the July.
Okay. So it's still secretary. Mr. Secretary, please put that on the Trello.
It's already been moved, right?
Yeah.
So it can be deleted.
Okay. Okay. So Mr. Secretary, please delete this.
Okay.
Next is from me. Oh yeah, I think it's in progress from this listing from Kintan and Paling Suvi is in progress, but I still don't finish it yet. Yes, yes, Tim, please.
Okay, this is the result. Is there anybody that can help? after you did the deep content doctor, is there anything that needs to be shared with either market building or reservations on why these properties are underperforming?
Yes, yes. I think I will discuss with Mo or Mbak Cynthia about these properties that not been performing yet. Okay. Okay. Next. Okay. So from here. Oh yeah. Bamboo bungalow tree is not in get good yet, but okay. It's yes. Okay. About sub discussion. I have some discussion with Mas Gani and Mas Bayu about making new profile. So maybe it's on the new business. Yes. Is there any discussion? No. Yes, please.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I think we failed to actually do this. I don't think we actually had this sub discussion, right,
Yeah.
about this.
We have.
So-
we have.
We had?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have pepper.
Oh, okay. So the discussion is moved over to this new action point here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I can delete it. Yeah.
Okay.
This is fine. It's evolved to the next level. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Secretary.
I guess the secretary has not excused themselves to talk about the secretary's back.
Sorry. Sorry.
Mr. Secretary, you can delete this
Okay.
new part.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's still the same. And the below, sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, next. From Wayana.
That's one been talked about it last time, and we already update the so basically we have discussed already, and then
And it's finished.
that one is fine.
Yeah, I finished the paper and I've attached the screenshot on Trello tools.
Everything. So centralized in one.
Yes, yes.
Is this connected over to the squad document?
No, I don't think so.
So as an orphan, it's not connected back up to the other document. So this is just kind of hanging by itself. It needs to be connected back up to this so that, because later on, essentially, how is a new person going to know that it exists?
Probably the training. We tell like risky for the finance where to find, and then we tell the export.
Yes.
Motion to add that document up to here, up at the top of the squad level
Just
SLAs.
type plus Canada outlet.
Motion to add. Do I have a second? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Okay, well, I guess you can tell the secretary. Then.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please move the paper to squad for library
Or in this case, may I ask a proxy power from the secretary? I'll just add it. So what I'm proposing to do is just to add this here up to the top, right like that, so
Okay.
that in the future anybody can see it. All right, so that's not orphaned out. Oh, thank you. Okay, done. Cynthia. Okay, somebody.
okay.
Money.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay, next.
Sorry,
Yes,
can you
yes.
have permission to take my GoFood just 1 minute?
Okay, Mas Gani, please.
Okay. No, transfer it. Okay, I'll secretary now. And,
Yes,
and,
yes.
and Gani's absent.
Okay, I second it.
All right.
Okay, next is from new business from Jing.
Hi, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I will go over the statistics on our SLA compliance. Has this team had a discussion with market building and content about SLA evolution? No.
I don't think so.
Okay, so what's supposed to be happening? What's supposed to be happening is that we are renegotiating all the SLAs for the month. So some of the SLAs are, of course, impractical, or they just don't work, or whatever. So we're essentially setting up pivots. I believe market building and content have agreed. Wait, let me just double check this. Squad workflow and SLAs, and then pivots. Okay. So essentially, on all the SLAs, there's some new evolutions, and there's also some reviews and feedback from each of the teams. The SLA status between market building and content right now, they give it a 3.75, with market building as a server and content as a client. So the pivot points or some partners are still not exclusive, mostly in Nusa Penida and also elsewhere. There's not such flexible pricing on some of the properties, and the partners are not actively using Toki. So this one, we're keeping the SLA the same, but the feedback from market building to content is, the feedback from content to market building is that it's not working perfectly. They gave it a 3.75. From market building to hosts, Rafik has not given it a rating yet, so that's there. They're supposed to be actually having a meeting today. Huh? Wait, yesterday. Okay. So market building to revenue management gives it a 4. Market building is the server, the client is revenue management. So revenue launch strategy. Oh, right. So the pivot points are that market building is, revenue management is asking market building to reconsider their launch strategy. They need to consider leftover inventory. They also think about if a listing with no reviews produce as much revenue in the first 2 months, and a conversation about base pricing too as well to happen. So this one's a 4 in terms of how this SLA is rating. Content as the server and market building as the client is really good. It's 4.5. So that SLA seems to be working really well. There's no pivots needed, but we need to include a SLA for a hot swap, or a workflow for a hot swap, which is when, let's see if we're all on the same page. Over to Shintia. What is a hot swap, Shintia?
For the
A hot swap.
you could translate. I'm
Okay, all right. Let's check over here with Rizal. Rizal, what's a hot swap?
I think hot swap is like transfer the old booking from the owner to our management.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So most of the properties we bring on never had any bookings or any booking engine there before. A hot swap is essentially they are still taking bookings, and then we are going to transfer over our channel manager and our system whilst they're still taking bookings. That's essentially what a hot swap is. Essentially, it's still active, and you got to it's like open heart surgery. You got to get a new heart in while the old heart's still working.
Yeah.
So okay, content to HAR. Content as the server, HAR as the client is really good. Rafik, Tenny, and Alvin give 4.75 to content on accurate information on the listing. Fantastic job, content. So content to revenue management, Bayu gives 4.9. Content as the server, revenue management as the client, 4.9. Better filtering on of MB deals. Okay. From HAR to guests, Tenny gives it a 4.5. I think we need to that can't be by a because he's the client and he's the server, so you can't grade your own work there. From HAR as the server and revenue management as the client, there is a 4.5 as well.
Still a bit confused as client or server, right?
Server is the person performing the service. Client is the person receiving the service, right?
Yes.
So, for example, market building is receiving content's work. They are giving a score to content to say how well is content preparing the work into supporting market building functions, right? So the market building functions rely on content to get instant book, to get to remove unbooked listings, to do deep content doctor. So they are acting as a server. Market building is receiving that as an input of work, right?
Yeah.
When the reverse is market building is serving content by making sure that deals go in correctly, right? And this is low because right now, non-exclusive deals, messy, whatever, it's, all this stuff, right? So that's essentially the points. The other points have not been taken yet. Revenue management to company, I think I'll just actually put that in the employee survey. So essentially we'll just say, hey, is it clear what the revenue projections are? And you feel confident that we can reach it, right? And that will be essentially a score for that. The company on content is 1. So the company is the server and content is the client. That's 1 because there are not enough content requests going in to fix content issues. And so the company is not giving content what they need in terms of feedback to fix the content. Okay? All right, so that's a quick overview. Yes?
Yes, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
I just wanna explain to this member like who are the person, who are the people that join here, and since there's no me here, am I also the
Right. Oh, wait, how does Cynthia get missed? Okay, yeah, let's put Cynthia in here. This, basically, discussions have happened. Sorry, yeah, let's get Cynthia in there. Sorry, Cynthia. These discussions happened, I believe, in the last few days at each chapter's sync-ups. So when the chapter had their sync-ups, that's when these were discussed. But I don't think, yeah, you're right. We didn't hit everybody. Yeah. So actually, these should have been. This is the first time we did it, of course. So, I guess the participation has been a little bit messy. But for example, the market building content sync-ups happened at the content sync-up, right? That's when the market builders came in to give the advice. Not everyone made it. Yeah. I don't know when HER actually synced up with anybody. I think they just used a proxy, so they were just relying on Tendi most of the time to give the score, right? But I think more people should be involved at the next thing. This is important because it's essentially reviewing your performance to the internal client. And okay, so that's an update. Of course, we haven't finished it yet, and I think for these parts, we can probably have a sync up next week to revisit how these SLAs are going. Okay, all right.
Not that one.
Okay, add yourself. Here. Okay, it's right here, so you can add yourself right after this meeting. Okay, that's the update on the SLAs in terms of how the SLAs as a company are doing. In terms of the SLAs for us, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Squad 4, the squad SLAs. So squad 4 is looking pretty good on reservation. Oh, outside. Oh, okay. So we're outside of the SLAs since the third week of July. So we're at 17% and at 22, yeah? Okay, improving, but still below our standards, 25. And then on requests, still doing really good, 69, 51, and 70%. So that's the update on SLAs in the Squad 4 area for reservations. And looking at hospitality, we are 100% positive in the last 2 weeks and below SLA standards on the week before. Otherwise, yeah, so within compliance in the past 2 weeks. Once again, real compliance actually is in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th weeks behind, because that's when we get all the reviews back from all the guests that have stayed. There's that 2-week window. Okay. Instant book rate is all above 70%, all within SLA compliance, and the number of unbooked listings made in the last 3 weeks, last 3 months, I guess. Is it? How far back do we look? 3 weeks or?
Our SLA is 7 days.
7 days.
Yes.
Okay. So we got Buyuk, Papasun, and Villa Damu, which have not gotten any book.
But this,
not mine.
no. But this two listing is, I believe it's multiple bedroom.
Yes.
Multiple
Yes.
bedroom.
Converted to others.
Okay.
So it's not instant.
Okay. All right. So non-instant book, multiple unit properties.
Yes.
Okay.
Multiple listing.
Multiple listings. Okay. Sounds good.
Multiple listing.
I have an idea. Okay. All right. I won't spoil. Okay. All right. That's it. That's it from the SLA update.
Okay, thank you, Jing. And then from Wayana, it's like how can we get better conversion on review? Please speak up.
So we have a paper there how we think do I think in the final project.
No, what's this? We have to talk about this first.
This one is I see the number that the guest booking and then the review. I just asked a question: how can we get better, right?
Yes, please, Mr. Jing.
I have a statistic from Airbnb. So yesterday, Joy and Janice. Oh yeah, just by the way, we have support from Airbnb now. This is an announcement. I forgot to put this on the thing. So Airbnb is going to give us an account manager, and this is what's happening. So before Airbnb had one manager per region. So one manager for Bali, one manager for whatever. They're changing that starting now, right? Starting from just a few days ago. So instead of a manager per region, they're having one manager per segment. Okay, what is a segment? So there's essentially 3 segments of hosts. They are HMCs. We're called an HMC, which is a host management company. So essentially, these are companies that have their own technology. They have very well developed systems, and they are modern property managers, so to speak, right? So then the second segment is a traditional property manager. So these are people who are doing this, but like they're 50 years old. Yeah, a little bit more like Elite Havens type ones, right?
Bali.
Maybe Villa Bali, like a little bit more traditional, not as adept on that. And the third type are just general hosts, just people who are, got one or two bungalows and stuff.
Put their house in the
Yeah.
Airbnb.
So these three categories. So we're in the HMC category, and our handler at Airbnb is not Joy anymore. It's Janice. So Janice is going to follow us and make sure that we get the support that we need. She's meeting with us once or twice every 3 months, and she's available for escalation cases. She's also available to understand our business. She's essentially a business advisor. If we have problems like, we're not getting any bookings, we need representative inventory, we need these tools to work it better, we can go to Janice and we can ask for her consultation. Her job is to help us succeed. So if we succeed, then she succeeds in her role. So their metric for success is not the same as ours. Their metric for success is not revenue. It's the number of nights booked, right? It's utilization. So they're counting how many room nights are being sold, and they're tracking that as evidence of progress. But anyhow, this is just a new thing. Where it really means to us is if you want to escalate something to me, now I can escalate it up to Airbnb, right, for further escalation. Or if you think that there's a structural issue that is fundamentally wrong with either the content management, with whatever it is, we have access to the people who can maybe make a fix to that. Now, any Airbnb fix is not a fast fix. It takes up to 6 months to a year, but they always get fixed. That's the good part. We asked for data last year. We got data now. We have like the analytics graph. We asked for automated payouts. We got it. Whatever you ask for, you eventually get. But just be patient. It takes a while. Okay? So that's an update on that.
Okay.
I forgot. So the takeaway. 40% is the target. 40% review rate is normal. So about 40% of guests actually will leave a review. If you're around that number, that means you're normal. If you're below that number, it means it's not normal. Hey Dominic, welcome in.
Hi Dom. Okay.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Please speak up.
So basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, okay, Cynthia, when you just
Okay. So basically, I am more has discussion about this also with Mas Riza. This is beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. And then actually we supposed to start the project on the July 30, but yeah, I'm sorry that's my bad that I missed that, and I think I started today about this project. So Kenny has messaged me before I read that he has already updated. Okay, yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Kenny, for the card.
okay, I just want to add on that, Jen.
Oh yes.
So basically, after I see the statistic, and we thought like, hey, like in Penida, so because we have a private chat with the guests, I thought it's a good idea to, like in the evening, like by the end of the day, I coordinate with Cynthia. I'm gonna be air support like around like 5:30 and 6, and then she can focus. Just send this to the guests and then see the response of the guests. This is the experiment one with use this card, and then the second experiment to use this card, and then with with different saying below, like what we say in the first week, it's gonna change what we're gonna say the second week, and then we see like the percentage of the response of the guests, and if this can help boost up the review.
Yeah.
So that's the plan of this project.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is there
That's
any
the-
discussion? No. Yes, Mr. Ramsey.
I think this is great. I think we now have experimental culture in the squad, and this is one of the first squads to actually have this type of culture. So this is really awesome. Cool.
Okay, let's put that on. Okay, the update is when? Next week. Yes.
The update, yes. Start from.
Start from
This is on Trello.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Just put here at.
Okay. This is we start on
Cynthia.
on first. Okay. Next from Jim.
Okay,
So please, yes, pick up.
sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is my analysis right now. So, what we're looking to do is we're facing revenue stall in our newest market. We have partners. Everything's good. The inquiry conversion rate is better than other squads. The request is good. The content work is good. However, we don't have the revenue growth. And the question is why. So, what I've noticed is happening is that we achieve about, I think, 90% of the revenue on the beginning of the month, and then it doesn't grow. So, for example, last month, I forgot, maybe this is a good point to record it. I'll record it over here. So, does anybody remember what the starting revenue was at the beginning of July for Squad 4?
330.
Not 350.
33.
33,000, right? Do you remember a result, what it was? Okay, all right. Shantia, do you remember what it was? The beginning. Okay, about 32,000, right? Okay, so let's take a look at where it ended up. So we went from 32 to about 40. Yeah, to about 40. So let's say 40 divided by 32. So that's only about 25%. We only got about 25% of the revenue in the month that it started. So that's a little bit unusual, I thought, because normally for like Squad 2 and for guest houses, they typically get 100% more revenue in the month because of all the last minute bookings than at the beginning. So if they started at 100, they would get to 200 at the end of the month. Or they started at 200, they go to 400. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
You're the...
Yes, Oyan.
I think what from the statistic that you saw, most of the guest book for today and for the future, the decaying of the graphic that you saw me, like most guests actually book in the future, not for today.
That's right.
That's the graphic. So I thought it's normal like what we got in the beginning a lot because that the booking been come from before, and then what we are gonna do, for example, August is not mostly the booking for August, actually for the future. That's what happening based on the graphic that we saw.
Okay. So
Yes, Mr. G.
this is let's say the booking pace for Squad 4 right now. So if we take a look at the booking pace for Squad 4, this is within August. You can see that right now we have a lot of bookings. Okay, this is on the last day of July, right? These are all the bookings in yellow, in orange, that happened for August for this particular month. So there's quite a bit of bookings that happened in advance. These are bookings that happened back in June for arrivals in August. These are bookings again in June that happened for August. But my point is this: if you look at, let's say, Squad 2, what you should start to see is that once we get deeper into August, much more yellow, right? Much more orange. And you can see already, you see that the majority of bookings coming in are for the current month now. Majority is for the current month. My question is, why is it in Squad 4? The majority is now. But what I would come to expect is this: if you start in 30,000 in the beginning of the month, you should get to around, let's say, 45,000 or 50,000 by the end of the month, because all the last minute bookings are going to start piling up. So it seems like where we begin at the beginning of the month and where we end up at the end of the month is only 25% away. And I think that's a little bit weird. And if you can kind of look back here at these graphs, I don't know what we started out. Hey, remember for July when we were doing the all hands, I said we were going to get to our goal because we were pretty close to the last month's revenue in the beginning of the month,
Yeah.
right? So basically, in the beginning of July, the revenue for Squad 2 was around 108, and the beginning revenue for Squad 1 was around 120, right? But at the end of the month, they went up quite a lot. There was a lot of growth. But we're not seeing that same type of growth in Squad 3. So at Squad 4. So in Squad 2, the beginning revenue was here, and I'm sorry, I'm using my fingers here to point on the graph. But the beginning of the revenue was down over around 108, and then the end up was 40% more. The beginning revenue here was here, and it ended up 50% more. So then the question is, why isn't that happening for Squad 4, right? Why isn't it like all the last minute bookings generally should rise up? And so that's the part that I'm wondering about. So that's part of my analysis right now.
Anybody have a hypothesis?
This is the hypothesis. So a lot of this is getting booked by things that are not Airbnb. Like, for example, Sorry Garden. All this stuff is not us, except the Tokit stuff, right? The Tokit is us. Okay. All right. But the majority of this calendar, as you can see, has been polluted by non-Bukit Vista bookings. The same, this is a different case. Ayulaba is really slow, but once again, majority not our bookings. We have some long bookings are not Bukit Vista booking for some reason. The really long stays are not long stays, right? So, right. I don't know what they use, but anyhow. Okay, and once again, this is a different case again, but it also shows the same thing. We have very little of the map.
We have only 3 here to market this one there.
Okay, well, this is why we have an analysis. So I'd like to actually invite Wayana to this analysis and maybe some of the content people too as well, and figure out what is it on the calendar that we're missing, and how can we get back more revenue availability. I think this is an availability question. But anyways, this is my beginning of my analysis, and I want to figure out what it is, so that we start at 40 and we end at 80. Okay? All right.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please mention Wayana and Konstantin. Me and Asgani too.
Yes.
Okay, next from Cynthia.
Actually, the same thing. I think this one following up about the availability.
Okay. It's
Below,
yeah.
there's something. Just click this, and then below that project, I have another project. So basically, based on the availability, because Clinton have like exclusive Buyuk and Polling and Pikaria and Sambu, so I'm gonna approach them like, and what they're gonna say. And this one is stay like whatever it is. We
Okay.
can't do anything.
All right, got it.
And Sari Garden inform in the front. So I will update more days like about like which category of the partner, which one can be done, which one can be not. So I will update it here.
Yes. Yes.
May I motion to call this the partner evolution?
Yes.
Yeah, table? Okay. It's the PET.
Yes,
PET.
Okay. It will be update on.
Basically, I'm planning to contact them this week about like to following the agreement, and then let's see what of their feedback.
Okay.
Yes, and I will bring it to the table.
Okay. We'll start on. Okay, next from Gani and Rizal. Create a squad for new profile.
Okay, so basically, me and Rizal and also have planned to create new profile photo because the previous profile I think not good enough to relaunch. I already taken a note at that. So basically, we will put the name Wayana Enthusiast in the profile. So it is still on production. And then what properties will be along at new profiles on the Kintan and Polling, also Songtang 3 bedroom. Because on the first time after we create the profile, we will try a new experiment. What happened at we will launch the obviously on new profile. What happened? Is it good enough or not? And then 1 hour ago, I have been discussed with Bayu and Rizal on this new profile. What we will achieve? We will get a super host or get a booking. So this may be the biggest question about the profile. So I open the discussion for this particular case.
Yes. Ara, you speak up.
So, we're just wondering, we still have the Emil and Wayana account, right?
Yes.
How is that going? I mean, like, Are we still going to use that as the main thing, or yeah, what's the plan for that account since it's not so active right now? Why not optimize that one?
Yes, Mas Dani.
So based on my experience last month, Emil and Wyatt is still on, but it's very very slow moving pace. So I don't know how to fix it to get more higher than that. I don't know. But it's all profile, right? So,
Yeah. Okay. Jim, please speak up.
It's working! Gunny,
Yeah.
whatever you did is working. Look, it went from $297 to $2,000 now. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So whatever you guys have done, it has lifted the thing out of the funk. And that's a tenfold improvement. I mean, it's still not like what Emil and Bukit Vista. Emil and Bukit Vista makes $20,000, $30,000, but it's definitely not $200 anymore. So that's good.
Interesting.
Interesting. Doesn't mean you should stop. Doesn't mean you should stop, but I think it is. Now you have 4 profiles, or you have adventure too, right?
Adventure is like have two listing there.
Oh, all right. All right.
So we
then
don't
you
use
have
that
3.
anymore because
Okay.
nobody.
Is there any discussion? Okay, Jim, please speak up.
I would actually like to ask Ara. Ara, you have a Superhost account. Is that doing differently, you feel, than all the other profiles?
You mean the activity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you feel like that thing is like? Well, actually, let's take a look.
Okay, Dominic, please speak up.
Yeah, domain.
Dominic. Oh, they froze. No, wait, they didn't freeze.
Just pass.
Yeah, Dominic, please speak up.
I think it's there's more instant book on Ara and
Okay. And it seems to be doing okay. This is the performance of the Ara and Bukit Vista profile. And what's the other one that we have? Gabby, right? For Joke
Yeah.
Tech? Okay.
Maybe the promotion.
Then
No. But we're going to compare one with the other. This is to determine the direction of, do we focus on Superhost or do we focus on bookings?
Oh.
The Gabby one's doing better.
And Panitia also.
Oh, yeah?
Nung
Okay,
yung
okay.
Yara.
Okay. Do I have to step through all this? Okay. Come on. Okay, so we're looking for the Nuki and Ara profile, and what we would expect, it's actually doing better.
Okay, in my opinion, it's Superhost is like when it have not many properties, but they accept the booking so many. But so I guess when it's to get more bookings, it have to the profile that have many listings, good listing,
okay.
but not Superhost account.
All right.
That's in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion? Yes.
I think that's right. So basically saying that Ara's profile doesn't have as many listings as the other profiles, right?
Yes.
And-
Get maintained.
And of course, if you want to be Superhost, then you cannot put
Cannot
too
put
much
anything
too much
because
junk on the thing. Okay. All right.
easily lose that. Yeah.
I think the question in early markets isn't so much about who's Superhost, who's not. I think the question in early markets is who has the most volume, right? So then, in this particular case, I think for the next profile, we can go for volume first.
Yeah.
We're looking for volume first, and after that, then in more mature markets, we should Superhost. But that being said, I think Superhost is a pretty good idea. That means if the property isn't Superhost ready, it is going to have operational problems. It's going to have calendar problems. It's going to have... So Superhost, I think, is a standard that market builders need to really look for property commitment on the other side.
Yeah.
If they're not Superhost ready, then maybe we shouldn't onboard them either, because because that's going to just result in internal problems.
Yeah.
So my proposal is actually this: if we think of superhosting as, let's say, a standard of quality that we will onboard, you're a superhost ready, then we will onboard you. That could be a good filter. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you don't want to deal with all the garbage properties anyways, right? They're going to be garbage with us, they're going to be garbage on their own. So it's better just to be more selective and say, this property is superhost ready, and then and that will sell more on Airbnb anyway. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any discussion?
Not from
Um, Okay.
Okay, Gani?
Yes, Mas Gani.
I still a little bit confused about this new profile. So we keep maintain email Wayana or keep creating new profile.
Okay, please speak up. Chi.
My motion is actually we use all the profiles, right? So let's have Emil and Wayana because that one seems to be recovering. Let's get another one because we want to see what we can do with that. And let's keep, of course, the Emil. Let's play Emil and Bukit Vista. That's obvious. But for Emil and Wayana, it seems to be recovering. It seems to be recovering. But if it doesn't recover, then we waste time again, right? With a profile that might or might not be fixable. If we start a new profile, we know that at the very least, there's nothing wrong with it. There's no disadvantage to having that. So I think we're essentially trying to hedge our bets here. A new profile will allow us to have new experiments and new sort of opportunities to be superhost, to do whatever we want to do. But the Emil and Wayana profile seems to be recovering. I think we can manage it. My question is there any more operational overhead from Cynthia or from anybody else to have more profiles? Or does it really not matter?
If, for the management, I think like for the manage the project.
Yes.
We have to discuss it before, and then I agreed on that. And probably if there is someone that will help me to pick up like when my day off, I think and for the new profile we don't have so many listings.
Yeah.
So I think
Very
that's
like in the
possible.
beginning.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Chi, yes.
I got a question. Dominic, are you available these days to help Cynthia out? On like Cynthia's off day, would you be able to cover air support on Squad 4?
Kamu, soalnya pantai ke me.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, Dominic.
I think yes, I could, but probably I will need to like train how to be and support in sport for like this bit
Okay.
bigger group. Yeah.
Okay. Because we're really trying to wind down the activity and joke. I know you guys are not winding down. You guys are visiting Wabi Sabi now. But Kano didn't make it, and Wendy didn't seem to be a good fit either, right? So that's 2 down. So we're kind of left with not so many options at the moment. But and come August, we do hope to get that. Who are you coordinating with right now for your off day? With Wayana. Okay. All right.
Yes, Ara, please speak up.
Yeah, and
What about Windy? I thought Windy was supposed to be structured as somebody that is covering her.
she's busy with the squad too.
Well, until mid of August or end of August, we will have the online best support training for assigning herself to the support.
What if they suck?
Okay.
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 I can guarantee this one can get online best support.
Yes, Mo, please speak up.
Okay, Dom. If you need a train, so you can approach me or Cynthia, so you can have experience both of us to like how to be air squad to squad 4. So you can pick which style you wanna use after repairing.
How about just the next day, whoever pairs with Dominic, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the next off day you have?
On
Sorry,
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
Okay. So, should I have vote to Dominic?
Is there a motion?
No, it has to be a nomination, yeah. Okay.
Yes, Dominic.
So yeah, the thing as I know is that if Cynthia taking the day off, I would like to be nominated to cover her on her day off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, in exchange for that, can I also have Cynthia for covering me on my day off for squad 3?
Oh.
For the full eye for an eye. Yeah, because like Ara is doing HR, Dani is doing content, and I think Cynthia also have an experience in doing squad 3.
It looks like she's gonna throw up.
like you guys been kind of like 50% of the property. It will be not too.
Yeah, not too as busy
Yeah.
as what
I just need someone to
Some
help me
discussion,
help
some
covering
Okay.
the
Okay, I will mention Cynthia and Dominic to put to do a sub discussion about this air support or yes, Ara.
Oh, it doesn't have to be sub discussion,
Yeah,
right?
it's
It's just like a nomination. So we're
Yeah.
checking this nomination or not.
Oh yeah. Okay, just good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Dominic take the nomination?
I do take the nomination for the air support for squad 4, and then I would like to nominate Cynthia also to cover me on squad 3.
I'm not taking the nomination.
Oh.
That's the thing there. So yeah, when I'm taking the of Ara probably covering me, but Ara also doing things. Gani also doing. If Gani will cover me, then also doing things. And
Okay.
Gani, sorry to say, but is I think not well experienced in reservation thing.
Ah, right. Here's. I'll let Cynthia explain why she feels this way. Okay.
Okay.
Okay then. Well, actually,
Step on toes.
yeah, Dominic. Sorry about that. I know that maybe our capacity is different. Like, maybe you can take all of the Jogja and then squad 4, but here I'm the one that I know myself. I'm enough of these things, like maybe the squad 4 things. Like, I'm not doing the all support only, but I have another things like another project to do, and then I'm sorry for that. If for me, I can't take the nomination to be if you nominate me to be the air support 3, since for the first time I haven't known well about the property in Jogja, and then yeah, maybe you will train me, yes, of course, but when? So we need another time, we need more extra time right now, and now I'm working with the extra time though, so I'm not sure when will it could be made the time. So yeah, that's for me and my bandwidth.
Yes, Jim.
This is probably why we should have had a sub discussion
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, guys. Look, here's the facts. Squad 3 gets about less than 5 bookings a day. Squad 4 gets the most bookings of any group, right? They get 27, and they have the highest number of check-ins every day. So already, I think,
Online.
yeah, we're trying to get more people onto Squad 4 to help with just the online support. It's a little bit overwhelming. So for me, what it looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that the duties on the Squad 3 air support are far lighter than the duties on the Squad 4 air support. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, that's
Yes.
correct. Sir.
Okay. All right. So I don't think we can add any more because essentially this is really tough. More than any squad in the entire company, if we can go down to 1, 2, 4, it's wow. Alvin's fucking 39. All right. Shit. But I can totally see how it can be at the limit of Cynthia's bandwidth right now. On the off day coverage, let's see. Wait, Wyan's covering right now, right? Is that not good
At the
enough?
moment,
Okay.
but as yesterday, I'm really struggling with it because I have like everyone need me and I need to go and then
We have
I need to-
Agus can help you do all the office activities now.
Yeah, but like going to ATM to the bank, that's not. I can't really
Keep
give
a
it,
safe
you
here
know.
and put all the money in there and then go to the safe.
So
I'm
basically,
serious. Why do you need to go to the ATM? Put the money in the safe and then you just go to the safe.
like
Duh.
I have not just all focus on the squad and also I do operation and company level, and
Okay,
yeah.
so we're all running out of bandwidth.
Yeah.
Here, look. How about let's just do this. Help will come by August, right? Help is coming by August. Am I right? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just deal with this for the next 3 weeks. It's just the next 3 off days. Okay. Wyana will cover on the squad 4. air support?
That's what we've been doing.
Okay. We'll cover on the squad 4 air support. Let's see. Okay, Dominic. Gunny's covering you on squad 3 right now for air support, right?
On my day off, sir.
On your day off. Okay, on your day off. So let's say 3 more times for Gunny, 3 more times for Wyana. And Ara, by the time the next person gets in, let's get this next person to cover this difference on Dominic's off day and on Cynthia's off day. Make sense? The new air support candidate, let's get them to pick up this bubble right here, which is right between where these two fine ladies are. So then that person has a role that covers the air support in Squad 3 and also the air support in Squad 4. Cool? And it's just really, we're just talking about 2 days a week, right? Where we really need help.
Yeah. But basically, Dominic is not talking about the next 3 weeks day off, but more on the next, on Tuesday. This Tuesday day off. This Tuesday day off.
That's what we're saying. For the next 3 times,
Before we find somebody.
Before we find somebody, let's just deal with it, right? Because there's no, even if we had somebody today, it would take longer
To train them.
to train them and get them ready without the possibility that they fail, like Kanu, right? Than it would actually do to do the work ourselves. So between training a new person and doing the work ourselves, I think the choice now is we have to do it ourselves. There's no saving grace here. So let's deal with it for the next 3 times. The next three times Cynthia is off, and the next 3 times Dominic is off, using the current system, using Gunny and using Wayana. Okay? And then after that, actually part of the problem is fixed anyways. We'll come out of peak season in August. It'll be slowing down. And after that, the interns will come in. And then we know they're going to be here for 3 months. And so there's no dicking around and all this running around business, right? And then we can get this done. Can we agree? I motion that's the plan. I motion that's the plan. It's not a perfect plan, but there is no perfect plan right now. It's either that or we bring over new people. We take bandwidth away from everybody doing air support to train a new person who might or might not be a good long-term person to solve this problem. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my motion.
And you second the motion.
Discussion?
It needs to be seconded for a discussion.
I second that motion.
Okay. Okay.
Is there any discussion?
Is there any discussion? No? No? Yes, Mbak Cynthia?
Yeah, I'm just adding my opinion. Yeah, as long as I know that Dominic handled the Jogja presentation, I know there's no many property in Jogja like in Penida, but I know the case, the problem is also not as simple as we have here. Jogja's problem is also difficult, and then there's sometimes like a lot of faking people, like you just put 2 guests, but actually there are more than 20 guests coming, and then there's group that
Silent turkeys.
Silent turkeys.
Silent turkeys, and then that things I need to be considered, not only the like confirm booking and then I send the welcome message and all clear, or maybe just make the group or what, but I also need to anticipate about the problem that maybe will happen in the next time in the future. So yeah, that's my point.
Okay, Dominic, please speak up.
So, Kak Cynthia, as you know, probably you already know that Jogja has been cut off like 50% of the property, and I can assure almost all the property right now is on the green zone and the yellow zone. And then
Yes.
I think if you are considering if Jogja have like a lot of good place, probably I can guarantee you like there's no more cases like that again, especially in August. Like it's not that high season, and like there's not a lot of booking, and then
Okay, sir, please speak up.
I think, if I may speak, I believe Cynthia was saying a different case. This is a guest side issue, right? And then Dominic was mentioning more like the owner side issue. Yes, the owner side issues we've reduced quite a bit, and that's why you see that the booking pace is also. But I think I hear it's 2 different things, right? One is essentially dealing with guests, and the other is dealing with faulty owners. We've brought down the faulty owner aspect of it, but there's still like the guest side things. I respect Cynthia's decision, and I think this is really important, guys, because essentially we need to have ways of saying we don't have any more bandwidth, right? And I know everybody's bandwidth is fairly limited right now, and I can emphasize with it. But I don't think it's. I do believe everybody's trying to do their best, right? And so when somebody says no, that's a good thing. That is actually a really good thing, because that ensures our quality of service, right?
Yeah.
When we say yes to everything, then we have that same issue we had with Chris in the early days, right? He said yes to everything, yes, and then everything just starts becoming all shitty. The service level drops to 0. So I empathize with this case. I empathize if somebody says no, is essentially they're thinking about the service level, and we shouldn't ask anything more, right? if you can say yes, Dominic, this is not, how would I say, it shouldn't feel like you're betrayed or there's a, like I can say yes to you and you say no to me. It's essentially we're trading bandwidth. So if you do have bandwidth, please help others first. If you don't have bandwidth, then you need to help. You need to make sure that help others first by thinking about your guests, right? Thinking about not just the people who are immediately around you, but also your commitments to the service, to the chapter, and to all the other people you're serving. Sometimes we do need to make a decision, and it is not always a one-for-one trade. So in this particular case, I do believe that there's a little bit more bandwidth in Jogja. We are, as you said, winding things down. I don't know how busy it is in Jogja. I don't know how many interviews IRI does. I'm sure it's a lot, but you should see, it is exploding in this place right now, right? This room is just intense. It's like 87 chickens, 87 chickens, 87, and these guys are grinding. If they don't say no, everything is going to be a tough one. Look, this is taking up a little bit more time than I would expect. Please, like I said, we need to move to a decision. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So we can make some discussion about this.
Do you want to table it? Do we want to table it, or do
Okay.
you want to finish the?
Okay. Are we wanna table it or we wanna continue to the next scene up? Yes, Dominic.
Well, probably it's better to have a sub discussion.
Okay.
I think I do respect Kak Cynthia's decision to say no. I do respect that, but the things I would like to say here is like Kak Cynthia kind of declaring that Jogja is very difficult to handle, but yeah, I would like to just say that FYI Jogja is not like before, like probably months ago. So that's the thing that I would like to say. That's not correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I do respect Kak Cynthia's decision to say no, but the things that I would like to break here, like the Kak Cynthia said, the guy is difficult to handle. That's all. But if Kak Cynthia say no, you're like, okay, fine.
Yes, Mak Wayana.
Thank you, Dominic, to make things easier.
Because Dominic accepted the nomination.
Okay.
I say thank you for make Jogja life easier.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please
Yeah.
write on the
Let's have some
old business.
yeah.
Old business. Write
Sorry,
on the
sorry.
old business. Okay, back to the squad for new profile. Let's take a vote. Continuing this project. All in.
We're voting on Cynthia and
Oh.
the work schedule, right?
Okay.
We have the sub discussion, right?
Okay. Okay.
It's
Sorry.
Hold on.
Particularly, we'll have some discussion about me covering spot 4. That's
Okay.
the only thing we will discuss.
Okay, let's back to
For
this.
now, I say I do this as an option for covering spot 4 and spot.
Squad for new profile. I will take a motion to continue creating a new profile. Do I have a second? Okay.
Yes.
Let's take a vote. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Me.
Let's see Cynthia. Okay. Cynthia is in favor too.
Okay.
Sini je.
Motion passes. Please, Mas Gali, please write this to continue the create new profile. And
Thank you.
what will be created, Mas Gali?
Sorry.
What it will be created?
When?
When?
Let's try next week. Next week.
When? Next
Monday.
Monday, ya?
Yeah.
Okay. The next chairman will be Cynthia. Cynthia, and the next secretary is Jing. Okay, for the engineering is Rizal. Okay. Thank you guys.
Okay, maybe you guys can continue. All right, I gotta go. All right, thank you guys. Wait, sorry. Is the meeting adjourned?
Yeah. The meeting adjourned.
No, you have to motion.
The meeting adjourned. Do I have a second?
Yeah.